Good morning. I'm meteorologist Jeff Gerber coming to you at 10 o'clock. We've been coming to you every day at 10 o'clock for about 15 minutes. Going to get you up to date on what's going on weather-wise and what we kind of can expect as we go through the next 7 days. Kind of just an extended long weather update that we will be giving you every day, Monday through Friday. Saturdays, I'll take the weekend off, so we don't have to worry about the weather then. But we're going to be looking at the weather that happened overnight and into this morning. Luckily, the rain has cleared out now, but if you just need a real quick look at the forecast, here's the rest of the day, and we're calling for temperatures in the upper 80s thanks to some sunshine breaking out now by 6 o'clock, still holding on into some middle 80s, partly cloudy skies, and then we'll dip down into the 70s as we head towards 10 o'clock this evening with temperatures right around about 78. Don't expect any rain through the rest of the afternoon. The showers and storms that came through overnight into this morning pretty much worked over the atmosphere, so it takes time for the atmosphere to readjust and charge back up before we get our next chance of rain. So don't think we'll see anything this afternoon, but a little bit of sunshine mixed with a few clouds. Real quick look at the allergy report. 4 on tree, which makes it low, and then we have medium through weed, grass, and mold. So these numbers are about the same as what we saw yesterday. Here is radar. This takes you back about 18 hours or so to the early morning hours of this morning. And we had a line of rain and thunderstorms move through the area. And that line produced wind gusts over 50 miles an hour. A lot of heavy rain and lightning. So a lot of problems out there as far as a little bit of, well, I would say a lot of problems, but we do have some problems out there as far as some power outages and a little bit of wind damage here and there. Now things have cleared out, and we're expecting things to stay fairly cleared out as we go through the afternoon. We'll take you back, once this radar loops back around, we'll take you back to this line of showers and thunderstorms. You can see it here on radar, and look at all the lightning associated with this as it was just to our west, and then it started to move in, came in to around 1:30, and you can see it pushing through the area. When it bows like that, when you see a line of thunderstorms bowing like that, typically means you're going to see some strong winds with it. And officially we had wind gusts, like I said, over 50 miles an hour. And then behind the severe weather, we had a shield of rain kind of move through the area, and that lasted to about 9 o'clock this morning. Then eventually it moved out, and now looking at radar currently that is clear. Like I said, it should be clear the rest of the afternoon, so we don't have to worry about any rain or anything like that. If you need to get out and maybe clean up a few things around the yard that got blown around, got all afternoon to do that. Really, our next chance of rain doesn't look like it's going to come until maybe tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. So we have over 24 hours, I think, before we get our next rainfall. And that's good because this morning some areas picked up 1 inch of rain, some other areas picked up about 3 inches of rain, and things are going to be probably getting a little wet again tomorrow. Also, we had some wind damage out there and some power outages. Ryan, if you can pull up a power outage map right now, latest numbers from the power companies say about 13,000 out still without power thanks to the storms that came through overnight. You can see a large concentration of that is here in Beaumont. Looks like it's just to the west of I-10. So those folks who are waiting for the power to come back on, I've got a feel for you. It's no fun sitting in a warm house waiting for somebody to turn back on your power. So hopefully they will get that fixed fairly quickly, and hopefully by this evening we'll get a lot of the area with some power. But right now, a lot of folks without power here in southeast Texas. All right, we'll go from the radar and we'll take a look outside, and you can see sun's starting to break out a little bit. We have partly cloudy skies. This is the view from right here at our 12 News studios as we look down I-10. This camera brought to you by Mid-County Plumbing, part of the Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. Take you up into the lakes area. Once again, we're looking at partly cloudy skies. Finally getting to see a little bit of sunshine as we look down some of the streets there in the Jasper area on our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. This camera brought to you by Parvalis. And they also had some pretty heavy rain up in the lakes area. Matter of fact, they probably got a little bit more in the way of some wind overnight into this morning than we did here in the Triangle. We had a few severe thunderstorm warnings overnight, and some of those were up in the lakes area. So glad to see the sun is out there. Like I said, some folks getting out in the yard, maybe pick up some tree limbs or something like that that went down overnight, or some things that got blown around. Should be a fine afternoon to do that. It's just going to be a little warm. Like I said, we're expecting temperatures up into the upper 80s. Here's a look over at the Horseman's Western Store over on I-10. Once again, partly cloudy. Our temperature there at about 73, humidity at 87%, Winds are out of the east to northeast at about 5 right now. And look at the rainfall. Over an inch of rain on our rain gauge there at the Horseman's Western Store, 1.06 to be exact. And this is just one of the days we're going to see maybe some heavy rainfall. We could see some more heavy rainfall tomorrow afternoon. We're expecting maybe 2 to 4 inches of rain start from yesterday through Friday, with some of these showers and thunderstorms going through the area. So this won't be the last day that we see the rainfall. I mean, we need a little bit of rain. We're actually about 2.5 inches down for the year, but we don't need it all at once, that's for sure. Here's a view from Packard La Prairie. Once again, partly cloudy skies in downtown Beaumont on our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. Currently showing 76 downtown. East winds at 6, and look at the rainfall downtown, 3.38. So over 3 inches of rainfall right downtown Beaumont at Packard La Prairie. So definitely some heavy rains through the overnight. As we check temperatures right now, trying to get back up into the 70s. The rain this morning put us into the 60s, and we stayed into the 60s for most of the night, into most of the morning here so far. 68 right now in Woodville as well as Kirbyville. Everywhere else just now getting into the lower 70s. Silsbee's at 71, 72 as you head up into Jasper, 72 also in Beaumont. Port Arthur's at 73, and then Orange at about 78 degrees. Expecting highs today in the upper 80s, so we got a little ways to go before we get there, but as things clear out, I think we're going to be doing that. This is the reason why we're seeing some of these showers and thunderstorms. We have a stationary front, a trigger if you will, for activity across the area, and this thing dipped down to our area overnight into this morning and had a disturbance right along this. It's almost like a highway. These disturbances ride this front just like a highway, and just came right through this morning. They actually started out in parts of central Texas and then followed that front right into southeast Texas. There goes the disturbance, continues through Jackson. Looks like it's going to head up into maybe Birmingham, Alabama as we go towards later on this afternoon. Notice we're clearing out on the backside of it, seeing a little bit of sunshine. Another disturbance down to our south. That one looks like it probably won't be affecting us. That one looks like it's going to be dipping down a little bit farther to the south. We don't have to worry about that one. But right now, computer models are indicating that we could see something as maybe as late as tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Let's hope so. We get a little bit of a break before we really start to see some more rain and thunderstorms move into the area. Be nice to see some sunshine today. Let things dry out just a little bit. As we take a look at futurecast, I can kind of show you what expecting as we go through the next 24 hours or so. As we get into this afternoon, partly cloudy skies. Temperature's going to be warming up. I think we'll be a little warmer than this, maybe a couple of degrees warmer into the upper 80s, pretty close to about 90. And then heading into your evening, we'll still be in the 80s as we head towards 7 o'clock. Going into about 10 o'clock this evening, we'll be back down into the 70s. And it looks like we'll drop off into the lower 70s as we go to the overnight hours into tomorrow morning. We'll see mostly cloudy skies as we head towards tomorrow morning. Those should break up a little bit through tomorrow, and then look what's happening out towards the west as we head towards lunchtime tomorrow. Not quite seeing any rain here, but there is another disturbance that is starting to gather a little bit of strength out to our west, and then that slides in here as we head into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. So that's why we have a real high rain chance again tomorrow. Tomorrow about a 70% coverage of rain and thunderstorms as this next disturbance will be going by. Timing might not be exactly right, but it looks like at least sometime tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, that we could pick up maybe another inch or two of rainfall if this computer model pans out. It looks like it's going to be some heavy rainfall, and you can't rule out maybe some strong thunderstorms once again as some of these disturbances go by with some wind, maybe some hail. As far as tornadoes, that chance is fairly small. Most of these little complexes produce a lot of wind, a lot of rain, lightning, and things like that, maybe some hail. But hopefully we won't see anything as far as a quick spin up of a tornado. Chances, like I said, of that are pretty low. But as far as wind, we have a pretty good chance of maybe seeing some strong winds with some of these complexes of showers and thunderstorms. Let's take a look at our coastal marine forecast for today. Things have improved quite a bit from this morning, but winds are still pretty gusty along the coast. Texas Point, we have 22-mile-an-hour winds with gusts to about 24. Water temperature out there in the Gulf about 82 degrees. Through the afternoon, southeasterly winds about 10 to 15 knots, seas anywhere from about 2 to 3 feet. See our next high tide at 1:51 this afternoon. Our sunrise 6:17. We didn't see that this morning, but we will see the sunset for tonight at about 8:10. All right, let's look at our forecast through the afternoon. We'll go partly cloudy. No rain expected through the rest of the day. Southeasterly winds at 5 to 10. And we'll see temperatures anywhere from, say, about 86 to 87, maybe even up to 88, 89 across southeast Texas. And then as we head towards tonight, we're looking at clouds to move back in across the area, but we're not expecting any rain. If we do see anything, I put in a slight chance, maybe an isolated shower, maybe down towards the coast or something like that. But it should be a dry overnight period, and we're looking at lows dropping back down into the lower 70s, 72, 71 in the lakes. And we'll be, I should say, a little bit more towards the middle 70s here around the triangle, 74, 75, something like that, as we get into tomorrow morning, your Wednesday morning. As we look at our 7-day forecast, you can see rain chances holding in there Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It looks like tomorrow will probably be our best coverage of rain and thunderstorms. At least that's what the computer models are indicating. And that's a 70% coverage with highs in the middle 80s. And as I just showed you, that's going to be probably late afternoon going into the evening hours on your Wednesday. Thursday, another round of showers and thunderstorms. At this point, it looks like it might be another one where it pops up during the afternoon. And then on Friday, about a 40% chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms. So not quite as heavy, not quite as widespread, but there will be some rain and thunderstorms out there that could produce maybe a quick ½ an inch of rain, something like that here in southeast Texas. So hold on to your umbrella, keep that rain gear handy because we have more rain to get through. We told you at the beginning of the week that this would be a big pattern change as far as changing over to some wet weather. And that's just the way it's kind of works for around here. 1 week it can be completely dry, or a couple of weeks completely dry, and then that pattern just kind of snaps and changes, and then you get a front to come in like that stationary front, and that will trigger a couple of days of showers and thunderstorms, and it ends up being 2, 3, 4 days with some wet weather here and there. At least it doesn't rain the whole day. At least we're not picking up 4 or 5 inches of rain every day. That would be a problem, of course. We'd have some flooding issues to deal with, but at this point we pick up 1 or 2 inches of rain, then we see a nice break for about, say, 12, 24 hours, and then we see another band of rain. We can handle something like that. It's just the constant rain over a day in, a day out that causes all the problems. Good news is your weekend looking great. Looks like most of the rain should be out of here. Once again, if we see anything, it would be very isolated shower here or there, primarily on Sunday. I think Saturday looks pretty dry. It's Sunday that might see an isolated shower, but at this point, so low of a chance, I'm not even going to put it on the forecast. And you notice temperatures are into the upper 80s. And then as we get into Monday, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, so we'll continue with some drier weather, and afternoon high will be right around 87 with a low of 70. So not looking too bad for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Give us another chance to dry out after a few days of some wet weather across southeast Texas. Take you back outside with our sky cam. It's good to see the sunshine after such a dreary and wet morning. Once again, from our 12 News studio here, you can see the partly cloudy skies as we take a look at our radar. And right now we have nothing on it. We were telling you folks this morning that things would clear out by mid-morning, and that's exactly what happened. We got most of the rain out of here by about 9:15, 9:30, and we'll see a nice dry radar through the rest of the day. So that's some good news there. We are looking at, once again, our 7-day forecast. Like I said, next few days, we're going to continue to see showers and thunderstorms. Don't be surprised, like I said, to see another round of what we saw overnight. Maybe not as strong, but another round of some heavy rainfall along with some gusty winds and lightning, thunder, things like that. We could see that Wednesday, we can see that Thursday, and then again on Friday. Like I said, chances of Friday a little bit more scattered.